Hey guys, so for today's video, I kind of want to talk about how to climb out of low bronze as Reinhardt. So as you can see, from my career profile, I climbed from 1108 to 1886. Mainly playing Rein. I played some like other tanks and a little bit of other characters like Orisa, depending on the meta. But I mainly played Rein to get up here. And the two concepts I wanted to cover today are playing around corner and covers, and when to play defensive versus when to play offensive. So in this first example, I use the concept of cover to decide how I should roll out to the point. So the pillar here protects me from spam coming from their enemy DPS while also helping me control the space on the control point because that is where they have to go in order to fight. I back up behind the Taiko here because the enemy Zaryo is pushing me, but this is still a good position because I'm still contesting for point, and my healers can heal me easily from the safety of this cover as well. Now I can start swinging because I have the safety of the cover next to me, and even if I get slept, it's not too big of a deal because the Rein can't just charge into my team without straight dying, and I can probably get healed back up because my healers will be right next to me. And yeah, I win the fight off of that, and I got my ults, so I'd say that's a pretty successful first push. So in this next example, I'm going to be talking about how I use corners and chokes to get advantage on the enemy team. So I like this position because it takes away a lot of space from the enemy team. They can't just go to point immediately because I will be in the way, or if they try to go right, then I can just fire strike, or my team can punish them, or if they go too slowly, I can punish the backline swinging in. Um, and also this corner also helps me not be too vulnerable to enemy attacks. If their Hanzo decides to take the off angle from the left side, then peek me, then it could be kind of dangerous. But uh, the simple idea here is that my healers can heal me easily. I have cover, so I'm safe, and I limit the space from the enemy team. So here I win the fight, and then we get control of the point. And you might think, okay, I'm Ryan. I should just protect the point and play defensive and stall for time. But map knowledge is very important in this game, and if you do that in this map, you'd likely get rolled if they're smart. Because if they have like a Hanzo or a McCree or anything long range, they can spam you from the high ground, and then you wouldn't be able to do anything, and then you'll just get whittled down and then lose point immediately after you lose your shield and get wrecked. So what I do instead is I go up to the choke and then hold there so that the enemy Rhine or like the enemy team can't push past it and just freely get the high ground. And they have to go from under or they have to fight through the choke. They're Ryan fed here, so I just get a free shatter on the rest of their teammates. That's another good thing about chokes is everyone's going to be grouped up as they try to go through the archway. So the next clip, I'm going to be showing an example of how to fight against Bastion. You'll fight against Bastion a lot in low ranks, especially in low bronze. And it can be really annoying as a tank to deal with a Bastion who's just like constantly farming your team. But the least you can do is close down the space yourself so that the Bastion is at least a little bit pressured to not be spamming all the time and not getting free ult charge and free picks. So you can see here that the Bastion is set up behind the point, and it's going to be really hard for me to just simply go down main and walk up to him. So what I do instead is I go left side and assume that the Bastion's not going to be rotating. He does rotate, but the point still stands that it's going left side is better in this scenario because you have the cover um of the walls near you, and you can kind of approach the point without having to deal with Bastion's line of fire. You can see that in the clip here I'm playing right now. I ended up dying, but my presence distracted the Bastion from the Pharah ult, which allowed us to win the fight. So the last thing I wanted to cover in this video is about how shifting from defensive versus offensive play styles. Um, this is something that I feel like is best learned through experience. But I think it's relatively straightforward in control points, where if you have the point, then you want to stall it for as long as possible. Um, and so here are some clips that demonstrate me switching from defensive to offensive play. So yeah, that was my fundamentals of Rein video. These two things helped me climb from 1100 to I'm like mid silver now. And sorry, I couldn't go too in depth into the defensive versus offensive play because I feel like that's best learned through experience. Because even when you're up by one person, sometimes it's not best to push in. There are like really a lot of scenarios where it's hard to decide whether to play defensive or offensive. But I think the important thing is to choose between one. Because if you're indecisive, then you're useless. You need to either commit to playing defensive or commit to being offensive, is what I think. And people like Flats think as well. So yeah, thanks for watching, and let me know if you guys have any questions or if you guys think my video is kind of stupid. I don't know. I am still 1800, so I can't say that my advice should always be taken. But this was basically my mentality to climb, so hoping that any other Rine mains out there who are struggling to figure out how to get out of low bronze can be inspired by this video. Thank you for watching.